2023 was a crazy year for One Piece, with 2024 gonna be even nuttier, as we head into the 25th anniversary of the anime, as well as the climax of the Egghead arc, as we head into another one, most likely being ELBAF, which means we're about to enter post-arc territory, which means we'll be getting a lot of info and updates on the world. As Egghead is supposed to be a massive event that shocks the world, I'm pretty sure one of the gorosei will be defeated for the first time in history, which will obviously shock the world to its very core. But that's not the only thing that might happen in 2024, as the world as we know it will change forever. So today we'll be doing our annual predictions list, where we discuss the future of One Piece in 2024, as 2024 will mark a new era in One Piece. I believe that we will be getting a lot of new information revealed to us next year because of how chaotic the world is now, and the status quo is literally being ripped apart and crumbled to the very ground. And with that said, let's look at the future of One Piece and how chaotic the world will be in 2024. Now, the Egghead incident is supposed to surpass the Ohara one, as well as shock the world to its core the following day, and I believe one of the gorosei, Saturn, will be defeated, dead, or even kidnapped, and possibly also Kizaru, who might defect or be defeated as well. Either way, this is supposed to be a massive event, and because of it, I believe the Straw Hats, as well as all the emperors, will get a bounty increase. The reason being, not only has Luffy been causing chaos on Egghead all throughout the world, everyone has been making moves. Buggy and the Cross Guild has been taking out Marines, Shanks literally killed Kid, supposedly, and Blackbeard just defeated Law and tried to steal his poneglyphs while also stealing other devil fruits throughout the world. And more importantly, they just kidnapped Garp, and he's now on Hachinosu Island. And for the first time in history, one of the 5 elders, St. J. Garcia Saturn, will most likely be defeated at the hands of Monkey D. Luffy. This would quite literally change everything as we know it, as we've never seen one of the gorosei be defeated, let alone fight or go outside Mary Joie. So because of this incident, I believe Luffy could possibly get a bounty of 4 billion, lowest being 3.5, but by defeating one of the gorosei, the heads of the world government, something that not even Dragon has done, is pretty significant, and I believe deserves him to get a 1 billion bounty increase. I think Shanks should finally start reaching around the 5 billion mark around Whitebeard and Roger. The fact he hasn't had a single bounty increase the entire story is kind of nuts. I think now is the time for him to do it, and Blackbeard has been increasingly becoming more dangerous and stronger, so him of course getting a bounty and breaking through the 4 billion range is very possible, maybe around like 4.3, 4.5. As for the Straw Hat crew, they'll probably be known as accomplices for taking out one of the gorosei, possibly an admiral, and probably be accused for kidnapping Vegapunk after Egghead Island. Maybe about a 2 to 300 million raise for each member. Maybe Zoro and Sanji get 1.3 to 1.5 billion, I think that's fair, but with Vegapunk on the crew, due to his knowledge, the crew is going to be known as very dangerous, with Robin probably touching 1 billion, which is kinda nuts. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Vegapunk gets a bounty if he survives and travels with the Straw Hats. That's gonna be pretty crazy. We're about to witness some generational propaganda. They're gonna place all of the blame on the Straw Hats. The death of Kuma, kidnapping Stussy, defeating CP0, kidnapping Vegapunk, defeating an admiral, one of the gorosei. It's about to be really, really crazy. Next up, we have Blackbeard versus Shanks. Originally, I was gonna put Luffy and Shanks reuniting or fighting, but I think the safer option is Blackbeard and Shanks. Oda did make a statement in 2023 Jump Festa that that character and that character are finally gonna fight, and the results will be unexpected. Immediately, me and a lot of people thought Blackbeard versus Shanks. Luffy versus Shanks makes a lot of sense too, as Luffy is most likely heading to Egghead, but it seems like to me that Shanks just left Egghead, so they probably won't be at the same time. But Shanks has been keeping an eye on Blackbeard, and Blackbeard wasn't able to get the poneglyph rubbings, but Shanks does have the rubbings that Blackbeard is looking for, and if Shanks is looking for Blackbeard, well, these two could finally fight a battle that many fans have been waiting for many, many years. The result being Blackbeard probably winning, but not killing Shanks, instead holding him captive. Imagine him and Garp in the same jail cell. And speaking of Blackbeard, the next one will be Blackbeard gets a 3rd devil fruit. Now, this one's a little shaky, but I think a lot of us are expecting him to get it, especially with him going after Boa Hancock just to steal her fruit. Why? I couldn't tell you. The man's ugly, the fruit's not compatible. However, that does show that Blackbeard is still on the hunt for a 3rd devil fruit, and if he's possibly fighting Shanks, now could be the time where he gets that fruit if he doesn't already have it, and using that power to overcome Shanks. Many people think he'll get a Zoan, hopefully a mythical Zoan because they're the coolest powers in the series, but that will complete the trifecta, the most powerful Logia, the most powerful Paramecia, and finally the most powerful Zoan. And in his eyes would become the ultimate being, but as we all know, Haki reigns supreme over all, and it's through his arrogance that will lead to his downfall against Luffy, or maybe even Shanks. Now for our next prediction, this might be one of the more obvious ones, and that is the Strats finally reach ELBAF. This has been like 20 years in the making. Ever since Little Garden, we knew the Strats would one day reach the island of the giants. Unfortunately, he was unable to go after losing a draw with Kid, but fate has other ideas, and it seems as if Luffy will get his way as we head over to ELBAF, basically with Vegapunk confirming that after they escape Egghead, they'll be heading to ELBAF, and this is going to be monumental for many reasons. The books of Ohara are currently over there. Saul might be over there, so Robin could reunite with him. We'll be getting so much information on the ancient kingdom, sun god Nika, because of how old and ancient the giants are as a race. And speaking of reunions, they can finally reunite with Dory and Broggy, as well as the other members of the giant warrior pirates. There's a chance that Shanks could still be there, so eventually we can get the reunion or even a fight between the two crews, which would be awesome. But according to Oda's Jump Fest comment, it sounds like there's gonna be a thing there that the Strats will be fighting over with someone else. I'm not entirely sure what this could be. It could be an ancient weapon, Uranus, it could be the road poneglyph, God knows, only time will tell. But one thing I do know for certain, or at least I hope so, is that it will be a Usopp centered arc, which leads us to our next prediction. Usopp unlocks New Haki. Now, Usopp has already unlocked Haki back in Dressrosa almost 10 years ago, and we have not gotten a single update. It's when he unlocked his Observation Haki, and if he's able to use Observation Haki, well, I don't see why he can't unlock Armament Haki as well. We know how important that could be to a sniper's skills. We've seen with Amazon Lily, Yasa, Beckman, and other characters that they're able to imbue Haki into their bullets, making it even more powerful and giving them a whole bunch of new repertoire and abilities. This is something I think Usopp definitely needs, and he potentially could even achieve his dream in this arc during ELBAF, as this is going to be a very, very important arc for Usopp as a character. Much needed growth. He idolizes the giants and pictures them as the perfect embodiment of what a brave warrior is, so him getting some much needed growth, both character and power wise, will happen during this arc, and I'm truly excited for the Sniper King. Now, I think this prediction is more likely to happen, and that is getting more information on the ancient kingdom, ancient weapons, and sun god Nika. We know the Iron Giant just awakened, and most likely Saturn will see this, and we'll probably get even information on what happened 200 years ago. Luffy will probably fight Saturn in Gear 5, and we'll learn even more information on Nika, as well as its true nature, and if we do go to ELBAF, then we'll probably learn a lot more information on the ancient kingdom as well. Now, according to the Chinese New Year, we are now in the year of the dragon, which means we're gonna get Monkey D. Dragon to do something, please, for the love of God. No, I'm kidding. I do think, though, possibly we could get Dragon's bounty, as he is the last big name left other than Silver's Railer and maybe xebec or Odin. You get what I mean? He's really the last big name that we really need to know what his bounty is, and I think next year could be the perfect opportunity, especially if they're gonna update Sabos. He just invaded Mary Joie, he knows what the gorosei look like, as well as Emu. Once they find out he's still alive, he's definitely getting a bounty increase, which would be a great time for us to also see what Dragon says. He is known as the most wanted man in the world, leading the revolutionary army, so most likely he has a bounty higher than Whitebeard's, as he was known as the most wanted man when Whitebeard was still alive. And I think it would be great for us to know just how powerful and how dangerous the revolutionary army is now that we're in the final saga, so all the set pieces could finally be in place. And speaking of reveals, I'm kind of cheating here, as I'm not just doing one prediction or even two, we're doing 3. I didn't want to separate them into 3 different points because that'd be a little ridiculous, so we're doing a 3 for 1. I believe we'll see the reveal of Emu's face, Rocksteady's xebec, as well as the man marked by flame. I know I'm asking for a lot, but who cares, whatever. I do think we could see Emu's face for the very first time, reacting to one of the most loyal subjects a member of the gorosei Saturn being defeated. With Luffy becoming even more dangerous, them losing Vegapunk and York, I do think this would make Inu nervous for the first time in centuries. And as for the man marked by flame, I do think that we're probably going to see him very shortly. It might be a former warlord that fought Ace and was burnt through the battle, and because they have the last road poneglyph and all the emperors are looking for him, I think they definitely could at least make an appearance or at least learn more information about them. We finally got to see a glimpse of God's Valley incident this year, and we have been getting information on the incident as well as xebec over the past couple of years, so I think next year could be the great time to actually introduce or show what he looks like. For our next prediction, I believe we'll be getting a One Piece film being announced. 2024 is the 25th anniversary of the anime, and I think they would love to celebrate it. Also, we usually get a movie every 2 to 3 years, and it's about time that we at least get another one announced. As for what it could be about, there's a plethora of ideas. However, I believe the best movies are all rooted in canon material, and thus there's a lot of ideas Oda could use, one being fighting a former member of the Rock's pirates, or even a former emperor, as Shanks only became an emperor 6 years ago, so that highly hints that there was another emperor before him, possibly. Now, Blackbeard is one of the smartest characters in this series. He always does shit that I myself would think to do, and thus I believe he will kidnap either York or Saturn. We know that the Blackbeard pirates are on Egghead Island as we speak. We don't know why they're there. Most likely, knowing him, it's either to steal some weapons or even Dr. Vegapunk himself, but because he's such an opportunist, I can definitely see his crew after Saturn is defeated and they take him away, using him as the ultimate bargaining chip. He could team up with York as their goals might align, but regardless, Blackbeard will be one step closer to ultimate power in 2024. Now, in my heart, I would love for Kuma to survive, save Bonnie, get his revenge on Saturn, and then take her with him back to the Revolutionary Army and finally team up with Dragon like he always wanted to do. Unfortunately, that is not reality, and in my head, I do think Kuma will die, possibly through the self-destruct. However, he will see Luffy in Gear 5 and proving his theory correct that Sun God Nika does exist and Luffy is the savior the world has been waiting for. Kuma's entire life has been about sacrifice and saving as many people as he can, so his final act, saving Bonnie and the Strats one final time, would be a really great moment. Although I would love for the Strats to repay their debt from 2 years ago, saving Kuma. But again, Kuma has lived his life as a slave, and it would be nice for him to finally rest in peace. And for our next prediction, I believe the Cross Guild will get a new member. I love this group. I think it's one of the best decisions Oda's made in his entire career, and I do believe they're easily the weakest crew, and there's just something missing about them. I feel like another member is needed to really complete them and make them into an overall actual threat. It could be a former warlord, it could even be Neo Mads. Regardless, I think they just need one more member to complete the group, and then they'll become a very dangerous pirate crew. And for our final prediction, Big Mom or Kaido return to the story. I know, I get it, you're groaning, you're mad, you're rolling your eyes. I am too. I get it, okay, I get it.
Listen, I get it. Part down, bruv.
Kid, who really cares? However, I think Big Mom and Kaido are kind of 50-50 at this point, but I do think there are some plot points regarding their characters, especially Big Mom. I think her character still has unfinished business with ELBAF. She was so heavily involved and intertwined with their story, and there's a reason Oda made it that they, as well as Strayusin, know the truth about what happened to Mother Caramel. She needs to find out what happens, and hopefully she can fight Luffy for the final time, and Luffy could prove that yes, he is one of the top dogs in the pirate world. And as for Kaido, it genuinely feels like Oda wants to reveal something about him in the future, like deliberately not showing us what he did in God's Valley, how he ate the fruit, why he disappeared, why he was waiting for Joy Boy, how did he learn about Joy Boy, why does he want to kill himself? There's just so many questions about this guy. His race, the Oni race, why did he go to Onigashima? This guy, thinking about him pisses me off. This video is done, okay? We're done. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know your predictions. I'm tired. Y'all have a good day and a good night. Catch you on the next one. Peace.